Hey guys, welcome to my corner of the internet. I am Tamar, and my goal this year in 2025 is to read an ungodly number of books. So we're gonna start with Love in Other Words, written by two authors under a pseudonym, Christina Lauren. I thought it was one person, and then come to find out it's two women. And I was like the author with her friend. But no, it's two people that work together to write this book. This book is a second chance romance, as well as a coming of age, as well as a friends to lovers trope. So this part of the video is for people who are planning to read the book, but don't know, what type of vibe it's giving, that want a rating, that kind of want a synopsis. So we're gonna start with my general non-spoiler review, and then we're going to go into spoilers, and I'm gonna talk about the book as if you already read it. So let's start with the non-spoiler review. I think I found this book on Pinterest, in one of the Pinterest review things where it has all this cute editing, and it kind of points at the book and shows the different tropes and stuff. I probably also seen it on TikTok because there's a lot of hype around this book. I would say don't read this book if you're healing from trauma, if you had issues with grief and you're still healing from that and it's still an open sore, an open wound. Don't read this book if you have been violated in a intimate manner, because it gets into things like that. It was very misleading because, as you can see, the cover is all pink and girly. It has little coffee cups and little books, and I definitely judged the book by its cover. So that's my problem on my end. But I thought this would be a little cute, friends to lovers type of thing. I thought this was gonna be a cute adventure. I was really going into it worried about the will they, won't they. I didn't realize that tonally the book was going to be centered around grief and loss and all these deep dark topics. So before we get into the synopsis, I just want to warn you guys that this book is gloomy. It has a really dark undertone with it. So do not go into this book expecting to read something high spirited, something cute, quirky, because it's not that.
Somebody lied to her several times and told her that she was fly, hot, and sexy and beautiful, and she's nothing like that. She's nothing of the sort.
It took me 2 times reading this book to really understand what the authors were getting at, because I don't know, the marketing was not marketing. Love in Other Words is centered around the main character, Macy, and we meet her when she is almost 30. She's 28, 29, and she's going to get married to her fiance. So she has her own little life. She's a doctor, and her past comes back to interfere with her present, as you may guess, because it's second chance romance. And her old childhood lover, high school sweetheart, comes into her life. The narrative of this book, it flips back and forth in time. So it will start in the now, and then it will go 15 years prior to when she met her lover, Ellie. It is set in San Francisco, California, and I think that's all I'm willing to tell you guys for the synopsis, because it's a lot in this book, and I don't want to spoil the experience for you guys. I give the book a 3.7 because, like I said, I had to read it twice. The first time I was reading for the will they, won't they. So I was really looking into the romance, what type of boyfriend Elliot was. I was looking into what type of girlfriend Macy was. I was looking at the mess. I was reading it for funsies. It was supposed to be a cute, quirky kind of thing to end my day off with. I was taken by surprise by the twist at the end. So I will say it kind of for me personally, it starts off slow, because for me, when I read books and watch shows and movies, I really expect for it to maybe it started with something, but then it kind of slowed down, and then it got fast towards the end because it has a twist and all these extra details. But on the second read, I came in expecting us to go deep into that, because I knew what the twist was. I knew. All this to say, I rated a 3.7. It's missing almost a 1.5 because the romance part wasn't romancing for me, and then the grief part wasn't grieving for me. The heavy topics, I felt like she kept introducing heavy topics, but it it weren't being handled with as much care as I would have liked. And if it didn't have to do with the main character, it wasn't going to be handled with much care. It was going to be like, I felt like it brushed off everybody else's struggles.
I said, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait, first of all, you're not going to speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said. I said, when was this? What year was this?
Besides Macy's. So I didn't like that. I feel like if you're going to go with a dark and gloomy vibe, we need to get into it. Give me a couple more pages. Like, I would have sat through for 100 more pages so that we can like go more into depth. But I also like that it was an easy read. I like easy reads. Like, I like books that I can get through fast. I got through this book in 2 days. I really could have got through it in one, but I was distracted as always. But I like when the authors keep it cute. Like, I don't need all the extra. I knew what I was getting with this. But for the romance part, I didn't like the end because I was going in expecting one thing. Then I realized that it was grief entangled, so it wasn't giving romance. And in the end, it was getting sloppy. So I was like, this is not cute. Like, in the beginning it was cute and then it wasn't. And I will also say another thing that knocked off part of a point for me was that, mind you, this is a coming of age. And me personally, I don't know about anybody else, but I don't be feeling comfortable with like young 17, 16, even 18-year-olds like being too like sexual. Like, they're kids, they're underage. I can't even say like, oh, I came into this book knowing it was high schoolers. No, they're like 30. Like, I'm going into the book being like, okay, I'm in 30-year-olds business. Like, I'm 23. Like, let's be in their business, right? And then we're seeing like 18-year-olds getting it on and like heavy detail. Like, even I understand they be doing stuff. I understand, but like, we could have kept it cute. We could have like kept it like tasteful. But she was going into detail. I just skipped a few pages. I didn't really like it. So that was like, it left a bad taste in my mouth. So that's why I knocked a few points off. But yeah, the spiciness, I'm not even gonna give it a spice meter, but I don't think it was very tasteful, in my opinion. So that's it for the non-spoiler review. I hope I did a good job. We're going to get into the spoiler review. And as I said in the beginning, I'm going to be reviewing this assuming that you already read the book. So no, I'm not going to review every single detail. You should have already done your work. You should have already read the book, done your homework, went home, done your studies. So if you didn't, click off the video, come back, and we're going to talk about it. So, period. We're going to go through my thoughts character by character because I think this is a really character-based book. I think, well, mainly just Macy, but I think her character, the way she relates to other people, it really tells a lot about who she is as a person and her values and like her coping mechanisms as far as grief. So we're gonna go character by character, just the main people that have impact on her life and what that made me think of the book and what that made me think of Macy. So we're gonna start with Macy. So for Macy, she loses not only her mom, and I was ready for that because that was like the first page. So I was like, okay, she's already gonna be like dealing with some stuff. She loses her mom, her dad, and her man on the same day. And on the same day like that she lost her dad, she was in the car with her dad and they had a car accident. So that girl, like, she is going through it. Like, the second read, I was like, dang, Macy's going through it. And it helped me understand her more, like being able to anticipate like the things she went through. Because then I realized like, oh, this girl got PTSD, like. And no, and on the day she lost her man, she got cheated on. She got cheated on and lost her dad and got in a car accident. Like, what is this? I don't know if I would have been able to make it. Like, cause she didn't make it. Cause she said, like, anyway. Macy is very, like, her character is very cold, very closed off. Like, she doesn't want to express her feelings. She doesn't connect to people her age. She just really is focused on work. Macy is a really masculine person because from 12 to like to 18, I think she lost her dad at 18. From 12 to 18, she's only been around her dad. It's been her and her dad. So she's been raised around masculinity. It's 10 to 18 because she lost her mom at 10. So she's a very, like, she deals with things in a masculine way. Her dad losing the mom, her dad, very much kept like was trying to be strong. He was trying to act like just move on and just not talk about her as much. Like, of course she was a part of their lives, but he just wasn't like emotionally open for Macy. So that really shaped her character, and it really influenced the future of her life. And I thought that was very interesting. So because of that, I think she connected to men a lot more than women. Like, she did connect to women. She's not like the type of girl that's like I don't like girls, there's so much drama. But she kind of is, but it's not because she's trying to like please guys. It's because that's how she was raised. Like, that's like, she's not kidding. Being around women was pretty rare. That's just a really important part of her, because I think I learned most about Macy through other people, because when we meet her, see, she's constantly like trying to avoid her emotions and not really talk about things. And, you know, I'm focused on work. She's a doctor, and you know, like she's been in school for a long time. The only time before we get into her romantic relationships that we talk about her emotions is kind of when it comes to motherhood and like just being a mom. And she works at pediatrics, so working amongst children, that's kind of when she talks about that. And that's really important, because I also want to say when her mom left, that was like the person that kind of brought color into her life, that kind of brought that openness, that kind of brought that like she completed her family, of course. Like, so when she left, like that was a big part of her. She didn't know how to be a like girl anymore. Like, she didn't know how to like be in touch with her emotions anymore, as everybody should, for real. But like, that was a really big part of her. So it kind of like really not ruined, but it really interfered with who she was as a person, and it kind of stunted her. Like, it made her kind of the same person forever. What I also like about the book is that upon the second read, I really understood how the PTSD and how the grief and loss and all the trauma affected her ability to properly navigate her relationships. She kept people at an arm's length, and she didn't connect with others because she felt like their situations were petty. Like, she felt like women were too boy-centered and it was petty. And here she is like grieving the loss of her mom and not being able to talk about girl things like with anybody, like real girl things like her period and stuff. And I really like how at the end you could tell how much she's been holding back, how much trauma, like how disconnected she was from that for a long time. Because like when she goes back to her cabin where her and her dad shared, she breaks down and starts hallucinating. Like, and then we go into talking about how she handled losing her dad at 18, and she really shut down and couldn't do literally anything. She couldn't like plan for college or anything. She couldn't even pick a school, and she was in some good schools. They said Brown and Tufts. I don't even know what them schools is, but it sounded prestigious. And she couldn't pick which school to go to, so her aunt had to choose for her. So it hit her hard, and it wasn't until she was 28 that she really like it hit her that like, dang, like I don't have my mom nor my dad. So she starts hallucinating that her dad is there, and I was like, dang girl, like no therapy, no. She had a Xanax prescription. Like, how? Like, you got a prescription but you don't talk to nobody. Like, you gotta sit on somebody's couch. Like, and that's why I was like, the romance factor is a little weird, because it's like, for me personally, well, it makes sense. I'm gonna get into that part when I get to Elliot. It makes sense in a sense, but like, it was weird, because like, girl, you need to be doing some soul searching. Like, no hate, like, not even trying to be weird, because like, it's a really serious matter, but she won't treating it like that. Like, she was treating it like, oh, this is just another inconvenience that happened. I was like, dang, like she really gonna speed past it like it didn't happen. So I was like, but that just kind of made the book weird for me, that she was really pushing past it. But this is where I'm gonna get into Elliot's character, because he has a really big impact on her grief and such. So Elliot, I think one thing that really stuck out for me in Elliot's character, who is her high school sweetheart. I hope you've been reading the book. I hope you read the book, because I'm not going to get into everything. But that's her high school sweetheart. Like, that's the guy that she met when she was 12, and they kind of got together when she was like 16, 17, 18. Interesting about Elliot to me is that he takes the place of her mother. This is spoken about in the book, and it was really interesting that they even admitted it. They was reading the book to Terabithia. I don't know how to say it. No. Is it the book The Road? They was reading the book The Road to Terabithia or something. The Bridge to Terror. It's a movie with the guy from Hunger Games. But in the book, the guy loses his friend that he's played with, and I guess they were saying that she got replaced. The friend, not replaced, but like, she took, somebody else took like her place in his heart, and not in a like, oh, we're gonna replace my friend, but like in a way that like their role in his life. And they kind of discussed in Love in Other Words how they felt similar to that situation. Like, Macy lost her mom, but she had Elliot to connect with emotionally, and not just in a like romantic boyfriend girlfriend way, but in a way that's like, I could talk to you about actual things going on in my life. I could talk to you about how I feel. You help me like to actually be vulnerable, to be open, to be like, to be human. I like how it transcended the regular romantic kind of thing, and it really made the friends to lovers coming of age thing make sense as to why it was so important that she met him so young, and why like 15 years later they're still so in love, because it was beyond love, it was beyond a crush, it was beyond like boyfriend girlfriend. Like, that was just like a compliment to everything. Their romantic relationship works because the authenticity, the honesty, I feel like that's foundational for any romantic relationship. And no, it's not just about, oh, let's communicate, let's be honest about everything and what we are, but it's about honesty on a level of, I'm going to be completely honest about who I am as a person, how I feel, what I'm going through at all times, what I've dealt with, like everything. Like, they talked about everything, and I feel like that authenticity is the highest vibration, so that can make any relationship work. And Elliot never let Macy lie to herself or him about anything. She was going to speak on it. Like, when it came to Elliot, he did not play about that line stuff. He did not play. They kept each other real and honest, and I love it. Like, you need people in your life like that don't let you lie to yourself, don't let you lie at all. Their connection was so important because on a mental health level, he really helped her confront the things that she had been avoiding, and he was really good at asking her questions and not pushing her like in a way that was pushing her boundaries, but pushing her to open up more and pushing her to speak on the way she felt, and asking questions that people felt weird about asking her, relating to her mom and her dad and her family and how she felt. And another interesting thing about Elliot is he has a big family opposed to Macy, who only has her dad and her. So he really pushes her to be a part of his family, and that's important to Macy because she feels lonely, and she does not like being at home and like the quiet and like not having her mom around. To be with Elliot, it's beyond Elliot, it's about the family sense. Like, he brings family into her life. Like, on Thanksgiving when she's young, it was about to just be her and her dad, and the mom made an effort to be like, no, you're coming to my house, you're gonna be with us. And she was very grateful, and to be back with the family in the end, I know it mattered so much to her. So I really like Elliot's place in her life. We're gonna get into Elliot and the sexual violation thing that happened. I did not like that. That's what made me not like the book, was the fact that Elliot got like violated. Like, okay, he was at a party with his trifling friends, Christian and whoever, and it was New Year's, they was drinking, they was partying, and he said he's a lightweight, so he was drinking, I think he was saying cocktails, like some fruit, some like drink mixes, and he got towed up. He didn't know what was like left from right, up from down, like he didn't know what was going on. And the girl, some girl that wanted him, and he wasn't really worried about her, she took her opportunity to get on it. It's not funny, it's not, but it's like, dang, are you that thirsty? Like, I didn't like it. And like, Macy had come because that night he was drunk and he had proposed to her drunkenly, so she had to come far to go see like if he's okay, like we don't, because you proposed to me, so that's kind of crazy. So she came far and she's seen that, and she's seen like him naked. In her mind, she don't know what happened. His trifling friends were like, ooh, trying to be messy, trying to be petty. And it was like, ooh, not da da da. And she was like, like, she was shook. And it's like, that's a big loss because it took place of my mother who died. So it's like, for you to be cheating on me and playing in my face, like, that already, that's like a gut punch. But for Elliot, like, he got violated. Like that girl took her opportunity. Like, I didn't like that. And then, no, what I didn't like, it's not that it occurred in the book. The writers, they kind of sped past that, and he was just like, my bad, Macy, like, I accidentally cheated on you. No, you accidentally got violated. Like, this is not like your fault. And they was like, oh, he's guilt, like, he was felt guilty on all these things. Like, you know, I realized that this was drunk out of his mind. Like, there's no way he could have consented to that. There's no way he could have given a yes. And in fact, he said he thought it was Macy. That's how toe up he was. I did not like it. Like, give me a couple more pages about how he felt. And we did get something, because he didn't like the act that she did on him. He didn't like doing that any longer after the fact, because it reminded him of that event, and he said he was embarrassed and all these things. But like, in the end, Macy was like, well, he's sorry. Like, he said he's sorry, he was guilty. And I didn't like that. Like, it's gonna be a book about heavy topics, let's make it about that. We're not just gonna speed past that. I did not like that. So that's really what knocked down a point for me. And Rachel, his girlfriend that he left, Miss Bobbiana, that girl got no self-respect, because she knew that he was still stuck on Macy. He kept talking about her, all this stuff. Like, she stuck her. Like, do you need a man that bad? Like, I think he said she was lonely, that she didn't have family and stuff, but like, you didn't need it that bad, girl. Then she decided to pull up to the Thanksgiving thing after he broke up. It said that I'm trying to go back to Macy. Like, you decided to pull up regardless. Like, I was like, dang, like, girl, you was a soldier. And then she left. She put up with the drinks made about herself and left. Rachel, you need some help. I need a spinoff with just Rachel. I hope I'm saying her name right. We're gonna go on to Sean, because that's another big piece of like who Macy is as a person. So Sean is Macy's fiance, like that she had when she left. We know this because you read the book, right? You did your work, right? Okay, so Sean is her fiance, and I'm like, the first read I was like, oh, he's a cool guy, I guess. Like, it's boring. And then I was like, wait a minute, Sean do not like Macy whatsoever. Like, he do not like her. She said, Sean, do you love me? He said, what? She was like, do you love me? I mean, it's between a love and a like. Then why did you propose to me? Like, why are you trying to get married to me if you don't like me? Like, I mean, you barely love me. Like, but Macy was cool with it because, she's a closed off person. She kind of liked that he didn't like her. Like, she just liked the convenience of like having a man and living with somebody else, probably the cheapness of the apartment. Like, she was on the same page, but I was like, dang, like, he don't even like you. Like, he said when he proposed, it was in the bed. And he woke up in the morning and he was like, my daughter kind of want a mom. But that's a big piece of who Macy is, because she said she basically is Sean in a sense.
Okay, so this is like after editing. And while I'm checking my lip gloss in the video, I just want to say that I forgot to say that Sean basically had used Macy to be just a mother to Phoebe and to do wifely duties and to smash whenever he needed that. And like, he couldn't even be a basic friend, be a basic boyfriend, because when she wanted to introduce him to her friends, he just sat there on his phone like, are you good? But then when he needed help, when it came to his career, when he needed her to socialize with his people, she was good. She was good for that, but like, he couldn't do the same. So I just did not like that about him. I felt like he was just another guy. And then it's no way I'm telling you about my feelings and I'm telling you about my day, and you cut me off and you're like, yeah, that's fine, babe, and you poke your thing against me because you're ready. Like, can I have an emotion? Like, can I talk to you about something? Like, do you care about me at all? Like, that's insane. Like, I do not like Sean. Like, He's trifling. What the heck? Okay, back to the video.
I barely like Sean, but that's a big part of who Macy is, in the sense that like they're both emotionally closed off. But we're getting into Phoebe. This is why I said this is a very masculine book, because this is another situation where we're just speeding past people trauma, because Phoebe, she's a 6-year-old. She lost her mom. Her mom's alive. Her mom lost herself because she got addicted to crack cocaine. She's addicted to stuff. Like, she on that stuff. She gave up her family. So it's like, babes, we're dealing with that. Sean's also has the trauma, but it's like, he's a lot like Macy, but he's also a lot like Macy's dad, because he's just like, let's move past it. Like, she could pull up any day asking for some money and traumatizing my daughter, but we're gonna bring another woman into my daughter's life. I'm like, are you playing at Phoebe's face? Because I don't think Phoebe's okay with that. But Macy keeps being like, it's fine, like, they're happy, they're a little unit. Like, I'm like, girl, just because people don't talk about stuff doesn't mean it don't affect them. Macy, the queen of not talking about stuff. I didn't like that either, because I was like, and we just kept speeding past it, and I was like, Phoebe has a mother that's addicted to drugs, just anywhere in San Francisco that could pull up anytime, and we're not gonna talk about it. I don't really like it. I didn't like it. I don't like it, and that was another half a point that was taken off the thing. This book really should be a 2 something. Not that I had a fun time, but I did not like speeding past the trauma. If we're gonna be gloomy, let's be gloomy. But yeah, that's Sean. There's not a lot to say about Sean, because she didn't really care about him. He didn't really care about her. They was just together out of convenience. But we're gonna get into some. We need to take an intermission because somebody wants to call me. So we're gonna get into Sabrina. Sabrina is like Macy's only like female friend that she can connect to emotionally, on an emotional level. And I think Sabrina's interesting. In the end, we kind of get to the fact that Sabrina also lost her brother. So she had a big loss right before college. And that's kind of like why they connect. But I think Sabrina had a really, like, she got through it. Like, not that you ever get through like loss, but she got through it better. She found, like, she was able to integrate it into her story instead of making it like an issue today, if that makes sense. Because she faced her emotions. She let herself be sad when it was time to be sad. She let herself talk about it and address the feelings instead of like trying to speed past it. It's an interesting thing that Macy connects with her so deeply, because it's like every person that Macy connects to, it has to be about her grief and trauma. Like, almost like she's not Macy, she's like what she went through. That makes sense. Like, and I think that could be unhealthy. It's a great thing that Sabrina is such a great friend. She's like that she is healed and all that, but it's kind of sad that like she kind of confines herself. And she's so blessed. She's so blessed to have like such good people in her life. Like, Elliot's a good person. Sean was not. I just thought it was very interesting to mention that Sabrina, that's my girl. We're done with all the characters I want to talk about that was interesting to me, that stuck out to me. But I just wanted to say that I thought it was so interesting that this book was like, it's supposed to be a romance, but it's like really masculine. The only 3 women that really like had a role, like a big role in the book for me that stuck out was Phoebe, Alex, and she kind of came back. She came in the end, and Sabrina. And I just think these are women that like in Macy's eyes, like are defined by the men that are around them. Not like, oh, like in a non-feminist way, because like I'm not hating on Macy. This is just how she sees things. Alex is surrounded by men besides her mom. Sabrina, she's only connected to Sabrina because she lost her brother. And Phoebe, Sean's daughter. So I'm like, this is very like masculine. And then she keeps speeding past everybody's trauma, trying to like connect to people in like a lustful way. And I just thought that was interesting. That was very interesting that this book is such a masculine book. And Alex, I think Alex is interesting to me because I was like, she, in the end, like the wedding scene, I was like, oh, why are we arguing about Alex having her hair long, or whether it's going to be long or up, as if like they were arguing about that because the dad felt like if her hair was up, it was going to reveal her shoulders. This girl's 15. Like, are we good? And why would we make this a point in the book. So I'm like, the book, it kind of, it rubbed me the wrong way. Like, it rubbed me the wrong way in a lot of different ways. But I kind of had fun. Like, it was fun. I had fun because it was messy. It was messy enough for me. And I like mess. I like some mess. But it was inappropriate. It needed a little bit. It needed a little bit of time. But if you're here, if you stayed to the end, thank you for coming. Thank you for paying attention. I hope I didn't waste your time. I hope you really appreciated my thoughts. Let me know what you thought in the comments. And thank you for being here. And stay tuned for the next video. Thank you.